from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, October 25th. So today we have the moon in Pisces all day, and I'm going to declare this as a moon day, seeing as all 9 aspects actually involve the moon. So an interesting dynamic that we've been exploring now that we've entered into Scorpio season, a fixed water sign, very cleansing, very healing, very transformative. We're doing a deep dive in spiritual matters, in soul matters, in order for us to kind of do the shadow work to unearth a new level of awareness. Now, the moon in Pisces, being the last sign of the zodiac, of course, is putting us in an introverted type of position in order for us to kind of really reflect on what has taken place, what has transpired. The Pisces energy, being the last sign of the zodiac, requires us to rest, to recover, to refresh ourselves, rejuvenate ourselves where our spirituality is concerned. There is a la la land-ish type of energy with the moon in Pisces on top of this water season. And so we are very heightened when it comes to our emotions, our intuition, our dream state, whether that be an awaking dream state or an asleep dream state. We are piecing things together. We're a little bit more psychically aware, let's say, and kind of able to tap into the subtle energies that, of course, have a lot more hints and clues than the face value of our current reality does. So although the moon in Pisces can have a little bit of a downside, meaning we do get overwhelmed with emotion. We do get overwhelmed with energies, with intuition. Sometimes there's this escapism, this avoidance that taps in because, of course, our physical realm and reality isn't as enjoyable as we would prefer at this time. But of course, there's a lot of undoing that has to happen in Pisces energy, which means that we're bringing things to a closure point. We're bringing things to an end in order for us to start a brand new emotional cycle that, of course, will begin once the moon moves into Aries energy. So again, with 9 different aspects here today and all 9 involving the moon, this is definitely a moon day. So we are going to be very stuck, if you will, in our emotional and intuitive realm. The very first thing that we have going on is the moon in Pisces making a semi-square. So a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a conflict point with Pluto, the great transformer, who is now direct in this Capricorn energy. Now we know that Mr. Pluto, he likes to really help us to do a deep dive in the pain, in the trauma, in the darkest parts of our psyche in order for us to see where it is that we've been feeling weak and vulnerable, kind of broken and powerless, in order for us to switch up that narrative and actually change the game. We're going to use our, let's call it, difficult circumstances in order to actually empower ourselves. We are taking control back. We are now standing in the power of being the creator of our own reality. Well, the moon in Pisces, creating this tension, this conflict with Pluto, is going to illuminate for us the heaviness, the weight, the pain, the trauma, the not so nice thoughts and feels, in order for us to have this aha moment on where it is that we can rise up, where it is that we can empower ourselves, where it is that we can take control of the narrative that we've been telling ourselves, flip the script, and therefore create a different type of emotional standpoint. The moon is then going to sit directly across from Venus. Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, money. She's in Virgo energy right now in her fall. She doesn't really enjoy being in Virgo energy. And a lot of the reason of why, Venus is very emotional. She's very expressive. She's very affectionate. She's all about love. And in Virgo energy, we kind of remove a lot of those emotions in order to be logical and practical. We have to analyze our thoughts, our feelings, our physical realms in order to figure out what is broken, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be healed, what needs to be repaired, what needs to be improved. And so there is this, I'm going to say, challenge with Venus in Virgo energy to be expressive with our affections, to be expressive with our true emotions, because we're very stuck in the intellectual mind frame of just kind of saying things how it is, saying things how they are, and really identifying problems in order for us to fix them. Now, granted, the Pisces energy, Virgo energy, they sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. They represent the axis of healing. So the Virgo energy that Venus is currently in trying to fix, heal, repair our physical realms, our emotions, our mental plane, our circumstances, while the moon in Pisces, the Pisces energy, trying to fix, heal, and repair our spiritual realm, our emotional realm, our soul contracts, our karma, definitely the mystical part of this particular equation. So to have the moon sitting directly across from opposing Venus, we're kind of being illuminated to where it is that we're not on the same page, where we have to kind of meet ourselves in the middle, if you will. The Venus and Virgo energy, too logical, too practical, shuts the door on imagination, shuts the door on the magic of the cosmos, shuts the door on anything that isn't really connected to this physical realm. Again, we have tunnel vision on what is logical, what is practical, what is in our faces. The moon in Pisces needs us to step into that imaginary land, needs us to understand that karma's at play, that anything is possible due to our spiritual nature. So emotionally speaking, we have to kind of meet ourselves in the middle, if you will. This is about compromise. This is about negotiating where it is that, yeah, we can take a logical, practical approach to our physical realm, to our emotions, but we also have to understand the karmic chapters that come along with it, the energy that we're creating because of the focus on our physical realm. And again, this is going to highlight for us where it is that we do have a choice point on being able to kind of open the door, if you will, to some deeper emotions that we can blend with that intellectual realm that, of course, Venus is sitting in because of that Virgo energy. The moon is then going to interact with the sun in not the nicest way. The sun, of course, in Scorpio energy, the moon in Pisces energy, water on water. If this was a positive interaction, we would see a certain amount of healing, certain amount of growth, certain amount of transformation. This isn't the most favorable. It's not a horrible aspect, but it's not the most favorable, which means that this is going to illuminate for us where transformation, change, healing is actually needed. So sometimes we have to sit in the funk in order for us to realize what it is that we have to fix and resolve. And of course, the sun shining a bright light in Scorpio energy is all about transformation by kind of diving very deep within ourselves, recognizing the shadow parts of ourselves, recognizing where the blockages are, where it is that we're too fixated on trying to keep things the same. The moon in Pisces is ever evolving. It's about what it is that we have to put an end to, what we have to let go of, what we have to surrender to in order to have a space to create something new in its place. So again, we're talking karma, we're talking spirituality, we're talking soul contracts, we're talking about unpacking, if you will, the repressed energy and emotions of the most not so nice experiences in which we've already had. This is going to bring into awareness where it is that we have to pour more time, energy, and effort into healing these particular, let's call them aspects that are going to show us where it is that we're not content, where it is that we are in conflict with ourselves. The moon is then going to interact with Chiron. Lucky for us, this is in a very positive way. Chiron is the wounded healer. He's retrograde in Aries energy, helping us to do a deep dive within ourselves to examine the problems, especially where our perspective is concerned, our narrative is concerned, when it comes to actually perceiving ourselves. We're going through this identity, quote unquote, crisis / rebranding. We aren't feeling, I'm going to say, as encouraging, as supportive as we would want to feel at this particular point in time to kind of emerge as that butterfly version of self, but we are taking some very low, slow, steady steps towards busting these new wings out. Now, the moon interacting with Chiron in this way, because it's a positive interaction, this does kind of mean that we are dropping some of that emotional, energetic weight. We are recognizing what we've been holding on to too tightly, where it's creating blockages and inviting new energy and aspects in. And therefore, this is a particular moment in time where we're seeing a little bit of growth. We're seeing a little bit of healing. We're seeing the ability to actually change, to actually transform. The moon is then going to interact with Mercury. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves in Scorpio energy, blending our logic and practicality with our intuition, with our emotions. We have tunnel vision on, we have the detective hat on. We aren't afraid to do a deep dive in those tougher conversations, those tougher topics and theme, if it means revealing the truth. All we want is to see the truth for what it is, good, bad, or otherwise, in order for us to make an informed decision on what it is that we're going to do moving forward from here. The moon our heart space, Mercury, our head space, they're not on the same page right now. This isn't the best interaction, again, not the worst, but it is going to illuminate for us where it is that we're not on the same page within ourselves, where it is that we're having a problem trusting our own thoughts, trusting our own emotions, trusting our own intuition, where we don't feel in control, in power of how it is that our inner realm is kind of unfolding. But what this is going to do for us is give us some hints, some clues on what it is that we're kind of stuck on, what it is that we're hiding from ourselves, where it is that we're creating the blockages in our own mental plane to not do a deep dive, because again, the moon in Pisces, a little bit avoidant, really doesn't want to deal with the hard things in life as of right now, while Mercury in the Scorpio energy wants nothing more than to totally deconstruct our physical realms, especially where our perspective, our narrative, our inner dialogue is concerned in that mental plane, in order to get to the bottom of the truth, to examine what is real and raw about the situation in which we're currently living in. The moon in Pisces going to sextile, beautiful interaction with Uranus, the great awakener, who is retrograde in Taurus energy. I actually love this because, of course, it is an interaction. A sextile is a positive interaction. So we are kind of harmonizing these energies together in order to make a change, in order to make an improvement. And Uranus is the one who downloads us with a new perspective, new information, new insight, new aha moment, new epiphany that changes the game. And so because we're in our intuitive field, let's say, in the moon in Pisces, having this epiphany, this aha moment, this generalized awakening is definitely shifting our emotions and our perspective. This is going to help us kind of, I'm going to say, unload a lot of the mental and emotional weight that has been blocking us from seeing the pieces really snap together. And so this is like an element where we do feel refreshed and renewed with the new perspective that is actually coming in, giving us a little bit of a glimpse, a little bit of a vision, if you will, on the puzzle pieces that are snapping together and the bigger, broader picture that they're actually revealing. The moon is then going to interact with Mars. Mars is the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire. He's in his rulership in the Scorpio energy, where he's kind of sitting in a stalemate right now. Again, Mr. Mars, he's always kind of blocked from taking the kind of action that he wants to take, mostly because of this eclipse energy. We are just kind of still at the mercy of the cosmos, sorting us out, wild card energies happening, storyline twists, plot twists, all these types of different scenarios. Mars is choosing right now to sit in his fields in Scorpio energy, for us to be building a new inspiration, a new motivation, a new determination on what it is that we actually want to take action on and now pursue. Because the feels are so strong, so intense in Scorpio energy, there's a very specific set of emotions that I call knowings. We have no physical evidence or proof to validate or confirm what it is that we're thinking and feeling. We just know. We just know that this is the path forward. We just know that this is the hint and clues that we've been waiting for. We just know that this is the action, the path, the direction that we're now being asked to pursue. So Mars is kind of sitting here, again, a little bit edgy because he would prefer to always be in motion. He's not in motion right now. He's being the observer. He's reflecting. He's doing the inner transformational work in our mood, in our attitude, in our perspective, in our narrative, in order to support and encourage us to make the moves when the green light go ahead is actually given to us by the universe. So the moon interacting with Mars in this way, this might actually kind of ruffle some feathers, bring that restlessness up to the surface, that anxiety or anticipation waiting for that green light go ahead to actually take action and make moves. Regardless, there's a lot of festering of aggression, of anger, of agitation, of just tiredness of sitting still. We are definitely anxiously waiting for change and transformation. That's what happens in Scorpio energy. And Mars, being in his rulership, just wants to kind of get started, make up for lost time, and really make a lot of progress in a short, very, very short window of time. So nonetheless, this is going to illuminate for us new inspirations and motivations, where you're feeling anxious, where you're feeling frustrated, where you're feeling held back and restricted. That is building the momentum within you. That is helping to clearly define what it is that you want to pour your time, energy into. So take this opportunity to build that fire, to really kind of, cultivate those flames, if you will, so that you have a clear path available to you in your inner realm on what it is that you're going to execute in your outer realm when gifted with that opportunity. The moon in Pisces is going to make a positive interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. That North Node in Aries energy is our soul path. It's our destiny point. It's the path that we have to be on in order to reach our soul's mission, our soul's purpose. It's this new quest, this new adventure, this new path and direction that is unfolding for us. But because the moon in Pisces is kind of, in La La Land, very euphoric in La La Land at this time, this particular interaction is understanding where it is that karmic chapters have come to a close. The roles and responsibilities that we have outgrown, that we have graduated from, that we are leveling up from. And because we're having these inner realm realizations on what is ending, what we're moving away from, there is a little bit of a glimpse and a vision on what it is that we're now gaining momentum towards. So this is highly indicative that we are making a lot of changes, a lot of transformations in our inner realm, where our mental plane is concerned, where our emotional plane is concerned. And we are kind of seeing, if you will, a little bit of a path, a plan, a strategy on where it is that we actually do want to leave certain aspects behind and continue to push the boundaries in moving forward. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in Pisces coming up to, meeting up with, teaming up with Neptune. Neptune rules over the Pisces energy. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces energy, and you best believe that this is going to bring up all the feels. So let's just start with the fact that the positive expression of this particular energy is very creative, very imaginative, very dreamlike, very inspiring. We get all the downloads, we get all the intuitive insights. However, if it manifests in a not so nice way, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling like we want to run away, we're feeling like we just want to bury our head in the sand and curl up in a ball until this particular, let's call it confusion state passes. There is this overwhelming nature that takes over us if we're not kind of standing very firmly in our own spiritual realm, spiritual practice. If we're not grounded enough, it can manifest in the not so nice ways, which can feel very, very pressurized from the outside world and from the inside world as well. I'm hoping that most of us kind of sneak into the positive manifestation of that. And again, I'm really going to encourage you to pay attention to your dream state. Again, with Neptune retrograde in Pisces energy, with the moon in Pisces energy in Scorpio season, you best believe that we are being gifted with some golden nuggets in our dreamscape. And it's very, very important that you pay attention to what is changing in your dreams, in your dream state, what the topics and themes are, who is making an appearance, because all of these things are very much suggesting, giving us hints and clues on what it is that we're actually manifesting, what it is that we're moving into, what it is that we're going to be pursuing from here.